It's Sunday night, and this is the Conjugal Visit on KGFRocks.com.
Fun to start off the show right,
Yeah. Are we?
We are live. This is KGFRocks.com.
Is it?
Yeah, it is. It's on Spreaker.
Is
Good
it?
evening. I'm here with my partner, The Guido.
Yeah. Capital T, capital G.
Capital T, TG.
Right.
TG. So,
TG 109.
TG 109, that's right. Better than the PT 109 and all those other 109s. 409 detergent, the whole 9 yards.
But she's so fine.
She's so fine.
My 409.
My 409. Yeah. So what kind of car was it? Was that 409 in?
I don't fucking know. It was a Beach Boys song.
It was a GTO. Come on, man. Get with the times, man.
Get with the times. That was like times before my time.
Do you know how much, back in 1967, how much the Mustang was? A brand new Mustang.
I would, if I had to guess, I'd say about between $2,500 and $3,000.
No, it was. No. Okay, wait. First, I'm going to qualify it. How much was a VW Bug?
$50.
Huh?
I don't have no clue, man.
It was $1,200 for a brand new VW.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet.
For the Mustang, it was $2,370. Brand new. That was stock. That was with nothing in it.
Yeah, I have one of those now.
No radio. One of those now are worth about $26,000 in mint condition. $126,000.
I have one.
You have a Mustang?
Yeah.
Do you really?
Yeah. Well, it's a Matchbox car, but.
Oh, Matchbox. Yeah. Yeah, I guess. Okay.
But that is my dream car, though, is really a 1970 fastback Mach 1 Mustang.
Oh, Mustang? Yeah. I'm a Camaro fan. I like the SS, or I like the Malibu, the original Malibu.
You like Corvettes?
No, I'm not a Corvette fan, but I'm an Olds 442 fan.
Well, my dad had a 74 Olds 442.
They were sweet. They were rock and roll. Yeah, almost as badass as the Bonneville. The old Bonneville, Pontiac Bonneville, had that big ass fucking 8-banger in it. Fucker was rocking and rolling. And going down, it floated down the highway and shit.
Well, my old man's was it was shit. Like I can't remember the color of the green, but it was a green, like a candy apple green with white leather interior.
Yeah.
He paid $4,000 for it, brand new.
Really? My dad had a 1957 Buick. Or no, I'm sorry, a 1957 Chevelle. Chevy. He had the Chevy, and it had the wings on the back and shit.
Right.
And it was blue. It was had the sprinkles in it, I guess you would call it.
Like the metallic.
Yeah, the metallic blue.
That's how my dad's was too. It was like the green glitter.
Yeah, metallic blue with a white fucking with a white convertible top and white interior. And my little brother got into it, and there was a lighter in it. So the dumb fucker takes the lighter and puts it on the seat after he gets it hot. And there's these rings all over the front seat. Wow. My old man, okay, this was back when I lived in L.A. I was a kid. We drove all the way down to Tijuana, Mexico to get his seats reupholstered. He was so fucking pissed off by the time we got down there. He was angry.
Yeah. Is that the Emerald King, or was that somebody else?
No, that's my dad. That was my dad.
Oh, and, who burned the seats, though?
My little brother.
Oh, your little brother.
Yeah,
Oh,
my
okay.
youngest brother, real douchebag.
Okay.
So, but it turned out, turned out to be okay. He went
Uh,
down there to Mexico and got it redone, and everything
hey
was
man,
good.
we put the new green seats on.
No, man, they put the white ones on there, man. They were pretty cool Mexicans too, man. They just laughed when they figured out what happened, and
Uh,
my dad just laughed along with it. I was there for it. It was great. One of the greatest moments of my life with my old man. We had a
well,
blast. Yeah, it was fun. I went down to Mexico and went to a chop shop, man.
uh, I I,
And,
rem- I remember having my dad had a '64 Chevy Impala too with the three on the tree,
yeah,
and yeah, I should. Yeah, no, there was no way I knew how to
I
drive
learned
that.
how to I learned how to drive with a Chevy 2 303. That's what I learned to drive in. It was my uncle's car, and he goes, "Here, take this," and he taught me how to drive. I drove it, and I got
Now
my license with it.
I drive a Ford Escape now.
A Ford Escape.
Hmm.
I drive a Buick LaCrosse,
Yeah,
leather
I don't have
interior.
Buick money. I only have Ford money. You know.
You only have Ford money, I see.
Uh,
Yeah, yeah. Well, you don't have Mercury money either.
No,
You
well,
know,
I don't think is Mercury still around.
no, not Mercury, but Continental's still around.
Oh yeah, I don't have that money for fucking sure. But
Yeah,
anyways,
or
here
Cadillac.
in my area, there's a Chevy and a Ford plant here. There's the Ford
Oh,
stamping plant where they make the bodies and fenders and shit for some of the Ford trucks,
right.
and the Chevy engine plants here that makes Corvette and Chevy S10 pickup engines.
Oh, okay.
So,
Well,
they both came here because back in the old days we had the third or fourth biggest steel plant in America.
right. Is that steel plant producing steel again?
Absolutely not.
No.
Absolutely not. It's a shame. It's just miles and miles of abandoned fucking
Empty field.
steel plant. And no, the
Yeah.
buildings are some of them are still there. A couple of them just burned down not too long ago. But
Really?
you see them and they're like just relics of days gone by. When
Wow, that's
I
sad.
mean this town was booming. There was Bethlehem Steel was here
Yeah.
and it
Until
was
NAFTA.
uh,
Until NAFTA. Once
it
NAFTA
was
hit,
crazy.
I was old enough to vote back then, Guido. I'll be honest with you, man. Back then, when NAFTA passed, I was angry.
Yeah.
I was angry. I was one of those that said, "Fuck that NAFTA shit." I mean, are you kidding me? And it was like, and it was plain as day. They didn't even try to hide the fact that they were shipping all those jobs to Mexico and Japan.
Absolutely.
They didn't care. They
Well,
didn't care.
if you look at things like all through time, there was no stores in the 70s and 80s. It came to the late 80s and early 90s when that dollar store boom hit because everybody was buying shit from China for that was so cheap and garbage.
Yeah,
Like,
it was all garbage. There
you
was no
know,
such thing as it. You're right. There was F.W. Woolworth and J.C. Penney
yeah,
and Sears and stores like that prided themselves in buying American-made products.
sure.
But I remember when all that shit disappeared.
Hmm.
All of those stores are gone now. F.W. Woolworth is gone. They had well, what was it? J.C. Penney's almost gone. Sears is almost
Yeah,
gone.
you had like
Yeah.
McQuarrie's.
I mean,
Yeah,
Sears just didn't do it right. What they should have
well,
done was built these three gigantic warehouses, one on the East Coast, one on the West Coast, and one in the middle, and they could have survived.
Well,
And they,
what happened was what worked was you had the department store like Sears and Penny's and
uh huh,
Kaufman's and all them, but then you had the five and dime stores like Woolworth and Kresge's and
right,
you know
right,
those were the stores where the like nowadays would be the Dollar General and the Family Dollar and the
right,
stores that people with a meager income could afford things for. But
right.
then you brought this dollar store into the mix where shit, why should I buy the American-made spatula for $5 when I can get it for $1? I'll just fucking buy five of them.
Right, exactly.
And
You think about that for a minute. The way things have changed, the way things have changed, and everybody says, "Oh, it's been for the better." No, it's not been for the better, because the cost of those things continue to rise. Even though it came back to bite us on the ass, is what I'm trying to get at. What
well, it
happened
did.
was, the prices were really cheap for a long time, and then
Hmm.
once they got us hooked, man, it's like a heroin dealer. That
Hmm.
bam! Now you're getting the good shit. Now it's going to cost you.
But what people also don't understand is you're getting this stuff at cost of somebody's meager life, because the reason people started going overseas to buy stuff is, let's face it, the guy that works in the factory here wanted a lot of money, more money. The people that make it in China and wherever, they don't get shit, and they're making all this crap stuff, but they're not making money. They're making meager allowances, where we want money, and it's rightly so. But these businesses said, well, fuck it, I'm going to go to China and get that stuff because I'm allowed to now because of this agreement, where
Right.
before you couldn't just freely get the shit from China because you had to pay tariffs and stuff, and so you bought home stuff because it was going to cost you just the same amount.
Right,
And
exactly.
that's what happened. So now, but they're buying junk. It's not well made there. When it was said made in America, normally it lasted a long time.
Right, exactly. That's the way it works. I mean, you got to buy the stuff.
Right.
The cost. Okay, let's see. What did things cost in 1968?
Well, it depends on what things you're talking about, and like the price of gas is probably definitely going to be different than now, but then you got to look into the whole structure of what did things cost in 1968. What did people make per hour in 1968?
Right. What did people make per hour in 1968?
So, if a loaf of bread was 19 cents and somebody was making only $1.15 an hour, okay, it's not cheaper then than it is now.
That's true. That's true.
So every time, oh my God, we used to get a loaf of bread for 29 cents. Well, yeah, you didn't make shit for an hour back then either.
Right, 29 cents. Now, the cost of gasoline, okay?
Wow.
The cost of gasoline, let's see, a movie ticket now, okay, you ready for this? A movie ticket back in 1948 was 40 cents
Right.
to get into a movie. Okay, today it's what, $8?
$8? What the fuck movie you go to? It's almost like $14.
Well, you got, you guys are gougers out there. I mean, but it's about $8 here.
Wow.
For the matinee, it's like $6 if you go to the matinee. Now, a gallon of gasoline back in 1968 was 34 cents a gallon.
Okay.
Okay, today it's averaging over almost $3
All right.
nationwide.
What was the minimum wage in 1968?
The minimum wage? Well, let's find out. Google is cool. Google is cool. Minimum wage.
Because that's how you decided. I mean, yeah, okay, everything was cheaper then, but nobody was making the money. Now people are going to get $15 an hour to work at fucking McDonald's.
Right. It was $1.60 a gallon. It was $1.60 an hour.
All right, so they made $1.60 an hour. Well, of course, everything's got to be cheaper. People can't afford it then. See, and that's the thing too. When your wages go up, everybody else, the products go up too.
Right. Exactly.
McDonald's is not going to just say, "Oh, we got to raise all our wages now. We're going to keep our prices the same." No.
Right. No, they're not going to do that.
Mm-mm. No, and everybody's doing like I ordered pizza the other night from Little Caesars. I ordered it on my phone. I paid for it on my phone. And then I went to pick it up, put my number in, and the door opened up. I took my food and I walked out.
You're right.
Well, you're not going to need people anymore because people want. That's why what I'm saying.
It's already going to robotic.
But that's part of the reason why the manufacturing jobs went overseas, because people got greedy.
They got greedy. That's right.
People wanted $25 an hour to push a fucking button on an assembly line.
Okay, it's $1. It was $1.60 an hour back in 1968 was the hourly wage.
Right.
Okay, and that compared to $11.86 and $2.89.
Right.
That's inflation. So you're
that's
actually
inflation.
making. If you're making $11.86, that should be your minimum wage.
Mm-hmm.
That should be the minimum wage today. The way inflation works. But today it's what, $8.25 an hour, $7.25 an hour?
No, here
it's half of what it should be.
In New York, it's 10. What's the minimum wage in New York?
10?
10.25, I think it is, or something.
$10.25 an hour, yeah. It's
Huh?
8.75 here in
Oh
Missouri.
no, it's 11.25 an hour here.
11.20. Well, that's about right then. That's the way it should be. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, compared to $1.60 an hour back in 1968, if
Uh,
you look at inflation the way it works, that should be about right.
yeah,
You
it's
know that
11 or
minimum.
11.25 right now, I think.
Yeah, that's about right. That's just below what the average should be.
And it's going to be
That's the way it should be
15,
nationwide
15 by 2025, I think.
by 2025. Well, see,
Yeah.
now the problem I have with that is they give these people $15 an hour. Then what's my check worth?
Well, here's the other thing with that too.
Am I
When,
gonna? I see. I'm at 20 now.
right.
So
Well, you're not going to get a compensation for that. That's the thing too. Is like that.
oh, I'm gonna get
That's
robbed. I'm gonna
well,
get
oh, you're going to get
robbed.
robbed. What's going to happen is like you're making $20 an hour when the minimum wage goes up to 15. They're not going to say, well, here, dude, we're going to give you the what we gave them to get up to that point.
That would
Nobody's
be
going to do
like
that
$29 an hour.
because already now people are already going to these small businesses are going to fail because they're not going to be able to have enough employees because they can't afford it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you got a small restaurant or a small little store, you better work it yourself or have your family work it where you don't have to
Because
pay
you're not
that.
gonna be able to afford to hire
Right.
anyone.
No, they're not. And it's a shame because, it used to be you go to college and then you could get rewarded with a good paycheck. But it's like now, that's that socialistic whole ideal, we'll just give you everything and take care of you. And then you have to listen to exactly what we say to do. You're our puppet, and you do what the fuck we say. But and that's a shame because it gives people why should I go to college if I want to make $15 an hour?
Right.
I mean, there's kids coming out of college that are not making that much money, and then now they got a lifetime of debt, and they're only making like $20 an hour.
Right.
Doesn't
That's
make
amazing.
sense. Doesn't make sense to me. I mean, I'm all for it because I don't have a college degree, but I'm also for, that's too high of a minimum wage. There's no room for improvement. Like, oh, you did such a good job, we're going to give you a raise. Raises are going to be less now because it's already up so fucking high. And what's the price of a goddamn Big Mac going to be? $7?
Right.
Let's face it. What was the Big Mac? 13 cents or something in 1968?
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy, but that's inflation for you. If your paycheck goes up, everything around you goes up.
That's true. That is
Yeah.
true. Yeah. These things were just uh, figured into the.
Sure.
You think it was all figured into the cost of living? I
Right.
mean, and a lot of people are giving up on the fact that these days are those days are long gone and they're over. You got to get over it, man.
But
Got to
why
get
does
over it.
everything got to
Got to
cost
go
so
to the
much?
socialist.
Why did everything have to move up? Like, if milk was 13 cents back in the day, why can't milk still be 13 cents? I mean, if we still went on the same platform that money's worth this and this is worth this, it's still the same. Why raise the minimum wage and then raise everything else? Keep it
It's
all the
because we
same.
got away from the gold standard, only because we had to have inflation. If we didn't have inflation, we'd be gone by now. We have to have inflation.
You
Inflation
don't.
is an evil necessity.
You need the gold standard back is what we need.
Well, we
Our
need to
money,
go, that would slow it down, but you would still have inflation. And the more inflation you had, see the problem with the gold standard is if you go and you go by the rate of inflation the way we're going right now, say it were to not change and it stayed the way it is now, gold would drop. Not just a little bit. Gold would drop drastically, and you'd be able to get an ounce of gold for $300.
yeah, but what I'm saying is if you just like avoid all that, get rid of the Federal Reserve, get rid of the banking system. The banking system's what created all that.
Well,
You need interest and you need and you need inflation and you need this and that.
Problem with that is you go ahead and get rid of the banking system, and there's no regulatory system to guard you against predator loans. There's nothing to guard you against banks going belly up and to protect your money.
Yeah, but is
Okay.
your money truly protected?
Well, yeah, it is protected because they own it.
I mean, it means
no,
nothing. It's
because
the promissory note.
if they go under, okay, they're going to take us with them. Okay, so when they keep it balanced and they keep their thumb on the dollar, okay, and keeping it steady, what it does is it benefits us,
Right. Well,
okay?
the whole reason it was all set up is so that governments didn't get greedy and heads of state
Correct.
didn't get greedy, and
And the banks didn't get greedy.
well, you're letting non-government officials say what the American dollar is worth and what I don't buy into that. We should have our own the Federal Reserve. I don't even know why it's called the Federal Reserve. It has no federal regulatory at all. Doesn't work for the federal government. It's not part of the federal
No,
government.
it's all private.
It's
run
all
by the
private.
sector.
Set up by John Rockefeller and the
And
Rothschilds.
they determine what you're going to pay for a loan.
Sure, and why are they the ones that get to do it? Is what I'm saying. I think it should be in somewhat federally done. We didn't have the Fed Reserve until 1914
Well,
or
no,
something.
it didn't. The Federal Reserve came after the Great Depression, after the big
Right,
crash.
okay.
Okay, and that was done in order to slow the rate of loss. And what it did was it put a cap on how much the stock market can lose. Now, if the stock market crashes, okay, say there's a major correction in the stock market, the Federal Reserve will kick in and shut the market down.
Okay.
They'll say, that's it, stop, right where you're at. That way, okay, you lost billions, but you didn't lose trillions. And there's a big difference between billions and trillions of dollars being lost. And so once you come to the point where the government has control, that's it. You've lost all control over the banks and over your money system. No matter who's running it, Guido, no matter who's running it, we handed it over to them. They've been trying to get rid of the Federal Reserve since the 1950s. Eisenhower tried. Right. Kennedy wanted to get rid of the Federal Reserve. Johnson wanted to but see, Johnson couldn't get rid of the Federal Reserve because he was in the middle of a war. And the Federal Reserve was keeping an eye on the money while we were at war. So that made a big difference.
Yeah, well, anything that has certain banking families behind it are shady to me. And I have the Fed Reserve.
I don't trust my bank.
You shouldn't trust any bank. I mean,
you can't trust any bank.
Yeah, I read an article the other day that said, I can't remember if it was in the next 10 or 20, well, probably 20 years that we'll have no paper money at all, and right. It'll all be digital currency. Now, that's, to me, scarier than anything because now, okay, I had physical $100 that I gave to the bank, and there's a physical touch of it. Here you go. Here's my $100. Put it in that bag. Now you'll never see how people could steal money. People do everything on the computer. So now you could just your money, bloop, it's gone. Nobody has to rob a bank no more.
Right.
they could sit at home and fucking try to do it or do it. Tell me that if we went to a totally digital cryptocurrency, that there wouldn't be somebody trying to figure out how to steal the money.
I gotta think that you gotta trust somebody, dude. Mm-mm. You gotta trust somebody. I mean, I don't know.
My Colt 45.
You gotta trust somebody, and the risks with not having oversight greatly outnumber those if we didn't oversee it at all and keep an eye on shit.
I'm not talking about not having oversight, but having oversight that's a little more, government oriented. The Federal Reserve is totally a British institution. It was set up, through Britain's. It's still right. Britain still pigeonholes our economies even after the revolution. So it makes no sense to me.
Well, I don't know if they pigeonhole our money. I mean, they're controlled by a central bank in Switzerland.
Yeah, and it's all part of the same thing. It's all the Rothschilds are all part of every banking institution across America, or across the world, I should say. Right. Their hands are in it all. And the Fed Reserve may have had good intentions with it. It may have got us out of the Great Depression, but I think it's done. It's done its course. Let's do something different. Let's do something an oversight, but more of an American thing, not a world banking thing. We're not a world. We don't want to be a one world government. We want to be our own nation.
Correct.
So let's do our own banking system, our own thing. That makes more sense to me.
Right.
I mean, it really does. I mean, why should we worry about, somebody else's market collapsing? Why should Venezuela's market crash and bother us at all? It shouldn't hurt us at all.
No, that's true.
It shouldn't hurt us at all because we're not a part of Venezuela. We're not a one world nation.
But it does affect us because a lot of the oil that we buy, well, we don't need to worry about that right this minute,
Right.
because we're not buying from them anymore.
No.
And we don't need them. Okay, but other countries do, and that's why those other countries. It's why it's so important for us to maintain control over and figure this out, because we don't want it's bad enough we have Russian influence in Cuba.
Well, right now we have the most oil reserve than any other nation in the world.
We are the strongest oil producing nation in the world.
Yes.
And and they all tried to fact check him, and they were wrong.
Mm-hmm.
We produce more oil than any nation on the face of the earth.
And that goes to show you that we always could have done that. We didn't need to rely on Saudi oil. Why did we rely on Saudi oil for so long?
Or anybody else's oil, for that matter.
Or anybody else's oil, right?
Yeah, I mean, the Kuwaitis, the Saudi Arabians, the Syrians, all them guys, we could have said, you know what, fuck you.
Right.
A long time ago.
There's oil everywhere. It's not just in certain places.
Yeah, we can survive off of our Federal Reserve for 20 plus years.
Well, you know what aggravates me is that people one of our biggest oil production is done because of a thing called fracking. Okay, and we're one of the only countries that still allow fracking. It's where you drill with the water and stuff, and a lot of
the oil to the top.
And voice oil to the top. A lot of people of our mouths will say that's bad, whatever. But look what it did. It made us the strongest oil nation in the world for the first time ever.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty simple. I remember going across Texas when I was a kid.
Oh, derricks everywhere.
Yeah, there were derricks everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And then California, they were right off of the coast. You could see them from the beach. Mm-hmm. I mean, we were producing oil like it was going out of style. And the environmentalists took over, and that was it, man. That was pretty much it.
Well, that's why we had to start relying on other countries, because they didn't have an EPA or whatever. It was make the dollar. Who cares about the environment, And if we tapped into the oil reserve in the state of Alaska, we would have an oil monopoly.
Oh, absolutely. We'd have so much of it would be it would be like 30 cents a gallon for gas.
Yeah, and
if
then
we actually opened that up.
Sure, and then all the offshore drilling that's possible. Yeah, that's also dangerous to the environment. Like, there could be a big pipeline disaster. It definitely could be. But sometimes, we should. If we want to be our own nation, we'd be our own nation. Stop relying on other people. Do it ourselves.
Right.
We have the opportunity to do it ourselves.
We should be self-reliant.
Yep.
We should absolutely be self-reliant.
There was a time when we were the best at everything. Everything. We had the best cars. We had the best, the only thing maybe somebody was better, the Japanese radios and stuff back in the 50s seemed to be better. But that was it, man. There wasn't much other things comparable to us, that maybe some electronical stuff like radios and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But that's it. There was nothing else that outdid. Now, what are we the best in?
Well, RCA and General Electric and all those companies produced the transistor radio and produced even the living room, the big fucking wooden ones, man, that look really cool, like a jukebox.
Sure.
And it had like 150 stations, but only one or two worked on it. Those were the saying. They'd sit by the fireside chat for FDR and all that stuff. That was all RCA.
Oh, back then, but I'm talking about come to the 60s and 70s.
Oh, yeah, the 60s and 70s. The transistor radios were all marked with Chinese markings.
Sure, and
Japanese markings.
They were the better quality ones for a while, But besides that was it. There was nothing else that they made better than us,
Right.
And
the other ones were made. The better ones, like Bose and stuff like that, were made in Europe.
Right.
That was all made in Sweden and Germany, and they made some pretty good shit out of Germany.
Sure. I remember I bought some speakers, Bose speakers, that they're supposed to be for like a computer. But holy shit, man, I listen to everything on them because they're like the best selling speakers ever.
Yeah, I've
I
got a
even
set
got
of
them set up
Bose
to
here.
my TV.
I got a set of Bose here myself. They're just sitting and collecting dust, but they don't, they work. I just haven't got them plugged in. That's all.
Well, what the fuck? Plug them into your computer.
Well, I got paper thin walls. It's bad enough they smell what I do during the day, let
Well,
alone hear what I'm doing.
stop taking all them shits, and you'll be all right.
No, I'm well. Okay, that too. Everything is paper thin. The walls are really thin, so I can't do some of the stuff I really like to do. But
See, it's because you live on cell block A.
yeah, I live on cell block.
Speaking of cell blocks, you see that Bill Cosby is in the general pop now.
Yeah, yeah, he's in the general population.
Oh, and
Yeah, I wonder
he's
how
got
he's
a
gonna like that shit.
he's got his new nickname, Puddin' Pop.
Pudding pop.
Mhm. But I read an article where his wife just refuses to see him. She's done with him, and
Yeah.
you know,
Well, yeah.
she's like, whatever, you did all that shit up. I got your money.
Oh yeah, he was a perv, total perv.
Well,
You know.
I just don't understand how. I'm not saying he wasn't, but there wasn't a lot of evidence on it. There was a lot of people saying that he did, and it's like it happened like in 1960, whatever. I mean, how the fuck can that be credible now?
Well, it is, and there's no statute of limitations on sexual assault.
I thought there is here.
No, no. Look up the law. There is none.
There is
There
in New
is.
York.
Well, there isn't any in a lot of states. California
Uh,
might be one of them.
New
But he
York,
was in Pennsylvania, wasn't he? Wouldn't he get convicted in Pennsylvania for that?
yeah, Pennsylvania. Yeah,
Yeah. What prison did they send him to?
I have no clue.
Oh, oh,
Quit.
we can find out what prison he's in. Why don't we call and see how he's doing? We ought to
Oh
call
yeah,
them. Yeah, that'd be great.
we'll set up a
Let's.
conjugal visit for him.
Yeah, we'll set up a conjugal visit for him. That's right. What prison? Oops.
I just put what prison, and Bill Cosby's the first one that came up.
Yeah. Ding 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 ding.
Uh, 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 he's in somewhere. 14 years ago. 14 years ago it happened. He's a prison superstar, it says.
Yeah. 81 years old.
Uh,
We moved.
and he's worth $400 million.
And Amy Warden,
Mm-hmm.
press secretary, and
He just has a state correctional institute. I don't know.
it doesn't say
Phoenix. Oh,
where.
Phoenix.
In Phoenix, Arizona.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess he got accused everywhere. Maybe he's got
Yeah.
to do one prison sentence, one
No,
place, and
well,
then
it's a federal penitentiary. It's probably a low grade. It's probably nothing, nothing major.
like Club Fed or something.
Yeah, yeah. It's not Leavenworth or San Quentin or places like that where they got the hardcore motherfuckers. So yeah,
Well, that's whatever.
he
He
fucking drugged them, dude. He put
right.
drugs in their drinks and knocked them out. Date rape shit. Yeah,
Well,
what
they
a fucking
didn't want to
douche.
play I Spy with him.
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what's a shame though is like that this stuff happens. It's happening more often, like in Hollywood, and people that you see, oh, we're banning this show, we're banning this show. Pretty soon they're not going to be able to fucking show any shows on television.
yeah.
Man. They banned the Dukes of Hazzard because the General Lee's got a rebel flag. Okay, that's racist, so we can't watch the Dukes of Hazzard no more.
No.
Nobody's going to play the Cosby Show because he's a rapist.
Yeah. They stopped. They don't want. A lot of the stations don't want to air that '70s show because of Madsen. What's his name? The
Oh,
guy.
oh yeah.
The
Oh
guy.
shit, what's his name? Yeah,
No.
Brian Masterson or whatever, or not Brian Masterson. I know
Masterson's his last
Danny
name.
Masterson.
Danny Masterson. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
And if y'all don't know who that is, he played who's the curly haired kid on there.
yeah. I'm
Uh,
just gonna let you go with that for a minute. So you
yeah.
think,
Yeah, and he also played with. He played in The Ranch as Ashton Kutcher's brother on this TV show The Ranch, which is on Netflix, and they kicked him off the show because his ex accused him of raping her.
it's Hyde, by the way.
It's Hyde. Yes, it's Hyde. So,
Yeah, well, that's stupid because here's my whole thing is like, uh, he did that, whatever, go to jail, whatever. But they'll take the fucking shit off. You know, if somebody did something bad, we're just supposed to forget about the shows we like now.
yeah.
I mean, I don't get it.
It's the same thing with Roseanne.
Yeah.
I think they're going to bring her back over time, and it'll be like she's the ghost of Roseanne or something.
Oh, they're stupid. It was all stupid. You know,
Yeah.
people just, you know, I'm not giving credit to or sticking up for these rapists or whatever, but like for saying something, get over it. Come on. I mean, we're all fucking stop being so butthurt all the time.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's one of them things. It's like this Virginia governor with the blackface thing.
Yeah, that's pretty stupid.
Yeah, he was pretty dumb.
Yeah,
I mean, and why his opponent didn't bring that out in the election? He'd
I
have
don't
won that
think
election hands
because they
down.
didn't know about it. What happened is he went on that thing about the abortion. He wanted to make abortion legal right up to the time of birth, and somebody didn't like that who worked for something that remembered him in. She went to school with him at that time and remembered the yearbook, and she only released it because of the fact that he wants to vote for, you know, abortion up to the time of birth.
Right.
So she released it, you know, and just to get the controversy going, which it worked.
Yeah, it did work.
I think it's funny because if like Ted Cruz did that, they would ask for his resignation right away.
Oh yeah, if any Republican did that, it would be like, that's it, you're done, get out,
Right.
and we won't take no for an answer.
Right, and now it's double standard, you know.
Yeah, it's a double standard for sure.
And it definitely, I mean, come on. He was in blackface, and then there was a guy standing next to him in a Ku Klux Klan outfit.
Don't tell me that wasn't racial.
Oh, that's not just like you dressing up for Michael Jackson to be, you know, for Halloween.
Well, that's Virginia, though, man. That's the home of slavery. That was the capital of the Confederacy. Was in Richmond.
Sure.
I mean, okay, it was wrong. Okay, it was wrong. But damn. When are we going to get over it?
Well, it's not the point about it get over. I agree with you on that, but the whole point of it's a double standard. If, like I said, somebody just like Megyn Kelly, who I don't like, got fired because she talked about kids should be able to wear blackface costumes for Halloween. Just talking about it, they fired.
Just talking about it, yeah.
And, you know, and now that's Joy Behar from The View, showing that she was in blackface before, and this Virginia. These are all big Democrats, but nothing happens to them.
We had a guy who, we had a newscaster here in St. Louis, just recently, Martin Luther King's birthday, said, used the word coon in a sentence, and now he's been suspended indefinitely and could lose his job, and he said the word coon. And, granted, I mean, but he just seemed like the nicest guy in the world, and I really feel bad for him because that was a big mistake, man. You can't use that word.
Well,
Not
it is
in St. Louis.
And I guess depend the way you use it or whatever. But you know, remember Jimmy the Greek got fired.
I think he said it's Martin Luther Coon Day.
Oh well, okay.
Oh yeah, you're done, dude. Fucking forget it.
That's just a Freudian slip, man.
Yeah, that's all it was. That's all it was. It was a Freudian slip.
That's still.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a bad thing.
That wasn't good. And he didn't even realize he said it until they ran the tape back.
Yeah,
that's fucked up, man.
That is. But you know, that's
that
different.
would be like him going, it's James Earl Ray Day.
Right. Who, by the way, even the King family says that he didn't kill.
They don't think he killed her.
Right.
They don't think he killed him. I don't either. It's just like John F. Kennedy. I think Johnson killed him. Mm-hmm. Johnson and what's his name in the CIA?
Bush.
No, yeah, well, Bush. And then,
the girl dresser.
Yeah, the guy, the cross
Hoover.
Herbert Hoover.
Not Herbert Hoover.
Not Hoover. Yeah, you know who I mean, though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
now I can't think of his name because you said Herbert Hoover.
Well, I just happened to mention the worst president of all time. So he was bad. He was
J. Edgar Hoover.
J. Edgar. Yes, J. Edgar Hoover. Yeah.
And there was another guy in there too. I forgot his name, but he was a director of the FBI, or this one of the one things, FBI or whatever, who was against him too. There's so many things in that conspiracy. Same thing with Robert Kennedy too. And Ted Kennedy was the only smart one. He said, "Fuck that shit."
Yeah, he said, "I'm not running. They're going to kill
two
me."
Two brothers,
too.
nope.
Somebody should have killed that son of a bitch. Anyways, I never did like Ted. Ted was a chicken shit. Ted was, he killed that girl at Chappaquiddick, and
sure.
he should have come right out and stayed at the scene. Should have stayed at the scene and said, "Look, I fucked up. I had an accident," but he was DUI.
And not only that,
it would have ended his career.
He was part of Camelot. You can't have one of the Camelot, the Knights and the Kennedy family.
Do you think that night somebody picked him up from the scene of the accident? It was a government official.
Absolutely, it was.
Somebody knows. Somebody knows what happened that night. That's for sure.
It was covered up, or the cover up started the minute he called whoever he called or whatever. Well, here's the thing: he was. What was he a senator then? I can't remember.
Yeah, he was a senator back then. Yeah, Chappaquiddick.
Yeah, he might have had. Was his brother the president too? He might have had like Secret Service with him.
Not at that time. It didn't happen. No. It was after Bobby was dead. I think it was like 69 or 70. It was after Bobby was dead.
Okay, well maybe he still had Secret Service on him because of Bobby and his brother. And then they fixed it. I don't know because it was so close.
Yeah.
I mean that was shit. His brother, 63 then 68, right?
Yeah.
And what says he couldn't get killed?
Yeah.
It's like, I was reading this book this article about the origins of the Illuminati and the bloodlines of the Illuminati. And it's funny. I can't remember them all, but the Kennedys were one of the bloodlines. And so were the Onassis.
It happened in 1969, by the way. July 18th, Friday, July 18th.
So it was both brothers were already dead.
Yeah, both brothers were already gone. Because Bobby was killed in 68. And of course, John, he was in 68.
By a man with two first names.
Yeah, by a man with two first names.
Or a man with the same name.
And what were those names, Guido? I'm going to test you.
Sirhan.
Sirhan, yes. And who was one of Bobby's bodyguards?
I do remember that one. I can't remember. I remember knowing that, but I don't remember right now.
Deacon Jones.
Was it? No, I didn't know that.
Deacon Jones. He's a linebacker for the Los Angeles Rams.
Well, Sirhan, I saw an interview with him, I don't know when it was from the 90s or something, and it was, he was talking about Palestine. And back then, I never knew what Palestine was, and then I started looking into it, and I'm like, oh, wow.
Yeah, they're a bunch of terrorists. They've been terrorists.
No, man, no, it's not that they're terrorists. If you look into it, after World War II, Palestine went from a whole country to a little land. They gave it all to the Jews.
Yeah.
They gave it all to Israel. I mean, it's like those people have a right sometimes, I think, to be pissed.
Yeah, well, they have every right to be pissed. The Palestinians, though, are unreasonable.
Well, I don't know. I guess.
I think that they're a bit unreasonable.
Well, just like when we came, the Europeans came to America, were the Indians unreasonable?
Well, yeah, of course they were. Either get the fuck out of the way or we're going to kill you all. Yeah, hit the fucking road, dude. I mean, none of that bullshit even matters anymore.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't, and it shouldn't. But
they fucked up. They weren't. I mean, when we came across the big pond from Italy and from Spain and from England, we brought smallpox, VD. We brought all kinds of great fucking diseases these people had never seen before. And they're lucky that they survived as long as they did. But their numbers were cut by 2/3 because
Oh,
of the smallpox.
drastic.
Drastically. And they
Drastically.
didn't
And
stand a fucking chance,
no,
man.
their
It was
immune
germ
system,
warfare. It was
their
germ warfare.
their immune system wasn't used to the, Europe was at the time like a cesspool and a wasteland. It was
Oh
like,
fuck yeah!
disgusting, and
We
the
brought the rats with the
plague,
plague. We
you
brought
know,
the plague with the rats on the ship. The ship would get off. The rats would get off the ship and go on the shore, and then their fleas would jump off and onto the people, and bam, that was it. The fucking plague spread like wildfire, man. It took one or two
I wonder
fucking
if that's what they
fleas.
wrote that song about.
What's that?
She went calling wildfire.
Yeah, like wildfire disease.
That was about a
Disease.
horse.
That's
That
about,
was about a
a
horse, though.
That was about a horse. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Who
was
did that song?
Wildfire McLean, right? What the hell's his name? Golly. Okay, I know you're going to tell me. I know,
His partner was Kenny Loggins.
his partner was Kenny Logan.
Oh no, it's not him, Jim Messina.
No,
It's Michael Martin Murphy.
Murphy, yeah, Michael Martin
yeah.
Murphy. That's what I
his name.
thought. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was the name I was looking for. Michael Martin Murphy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The '70s had some really good music, but some really, really weird, odd music.
Oh yeah, odd music.
Very odd. I mean, who sings about a horse?
Oh, the Rolling Stones do. Wild horses.
Yeah.
Wow. Horses are a beautiful beast, man.
Well, I went to the desert on a horse with no name. Everything was about a freaking horse.
Well, that was about heroin.
They were all about something else. Nobody really sings about a horse. He
wasn't singing about the horse. He was singing about him riding on a horse with no name.
Right.
And you've been through the desert on a horse with no name.
It looked good, something,
Yeah. It was about drug abuse is what it was all about. Yeah, one of the guys in the band overdosed.
They all overdosed back then.
Yeah, it was one of them things.
Oh, did I tell you that rock legend Lindsey Buckingham underwent emergency open heart surgery?
Oh.
And also he damaged his vocal cords somehow. So that's a depressing tale.
When they shove that tube down your throat when they're getting ready to put you into surgery, I bet you that's what happened. They damaged his vocal cords.
Probably. And that's a shame because I actually think he's got one of the most underrated voices in rock and roll. I mean, he's if you listen to Go Your Own Way and the songs that he was a hit on, they were pretty good rockin' tunes.
Yeah, they were.
And I think he brought the rock element to that late '70s, when they were the Christine McVie and the Stevie Nicks ballady type songs. I think he brought the rock back to them.
Well, yeah, he definitely. See, Fleetwood Mac was around back in the early '60s.
Sure, with Pete Green, and it was his carnation, and they had a couple different singers. Even that dude that sang Bob Welch was one of their singers.
Bob Welch was one of the singers, and they did a lot of blues stuff.
Sure, they wrote Black Magic Woman, actually. The song that was a hit for Santana. They wrote that one, and early Fleetwood Mac also wrote the hit "Oh Well."
Yeah. Oh well. Yep. And who else covered that song?
There was a band in the late '70s that covered it. Damn it, and I can't think of their name right now. They were from like Michigan or something like that.
The Butts Band.
The Butts Band, was it? No, that's not who I was thinking. But maybe several people covered it. But that was a great tune. And actually, if you listen to the 1979 or '80 Fleetwood Mac live album, Lindsey Buckingham sings on it, and that's the one that most people know because he didn't do it originally. Somebody else did it. I can't remember who, but the live
stood out better. The live version was so much better.
And it was so a lot of people, will attribute that song to him, but it was really done a lot longer before he was in the band. And I think it's stupid that they fired him because of Stevie Nicks' problem with him. It's a business. Get over it, okay?
Yeah. Well, you know what? They have nothing but turmoil all their lives.
Sure.
And I guess Mick Fleetwood got tired of it and said, you know what? That's it. I'm done with it. I'm fed up. You guys can't get along, then one of you two has got to go. And here's
the thing that But here's the thing that he should say is actually they hired Lindsey Buckingham, and Lindsey brought Stevie with him and said it's a package deal. So they didn't even want her at first.
Yeah.
I mean, you wanted Lindsey Buckingham. He's the guy you wanted. You brought her along because that's what he wanted. So
Right.
now you're choosing sides, and I just don't think it's right. Get along, make your millions, go home and shut the fuck up.
If they can make their millions with him.
I
mean,
think they
maybe
could.
Maybe this whole thing was about his heart and about how he wasn't ready to go. And
I don't
he
know
said,
because
"Look, I
he
don't think I
was
can do
on
this."
tour. No, he was on his own tour. Well, he did say he didn't want to do a big tour yet. He wanted to wait till 2020 to do a big tour, but they wanted to go then, so that's really why they said they fired him, because he wanted to wait and they did it. Well, maybe you're right. Maybe he wasn't ready, so maybe now he went on the road to prove that he was ready, and he really wasn't.
No, he wasn't ready because he's got a heart condition.
Nah.
Open heart surgery is nothing to buck at. Hey,
Oh.
we got a tour coming up, nationwide tour with these guys: Slipknot, Korn, Alice in Chains, Volbeat. 2019 season tour, and tickets start at $69.
That's not a bad deal. And you know what? There's people on here, though, that some are newer bands, some are a little older. But what they did here is kind of cool because they took bands from the 90s, the late 90s, the 2000s. There's bands from all over on this tour.
Yeah, they got bands like Under Oath and Chevelle and Behemoth. And let's see, all kinds of other different bands. Did I say Korn?
You did.
Under Oath and Volbeat and Slayer. Shine Down
Yep.
will be in select cities with Slayer. I mean, check it out. They'll be in. They're going to be in Albuquerque, New Mexico, Alpharetta, Georgia, Austin, Texas, Bristol, Virginia. They're going to be in Darien Center in New York.
That's for me.
Yeah, that's by you.
They're right by me.
Yeah, and then Detroit, Michigan, and also in New Jersey. And they'll be in Massachusetts and Noblesville in Indiana, Phoenix, Arizona, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Saratoga Springs, New York, Tinley Park in Illinois, and Toronto, Ontario, Canada, and Virginia Beach. And then there's going to be a lot of the Northeast, a lot of New York shows, New York and Jersey. Yeah.
Yeah, that's because it's probably do them in the beginning and then come out your way.
Well, I think they're gonna probably add more shows to this. That's just not enough cities.
No.
And they're all 3-show packages.
Yeah,
So
I heard that.
Each one they're gonna do 3 shows in each place.
Well,
Unless indicated. Some of them are 4 shows.
wow, that's nuts.
That's a big fucking tour.
Can you imagine getting there's got to be like a package where you can get the whole thing, where maybe you can get all 3 shows or whatever.
Well,
because
you get a 4-show package for $100.
That's not bad, man.
5-show package would be $93, depending on the location.
That's actually not really bad at all.
The one in Camden is a 5-show package for $93.
Wow.
So you could see all 5 shows, and each show, I guess, is going to be a different lineup.
Is that how they're working it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
it's called the Ticket to Rock tour. It's going to be probably one of the better shows on the bill. Slipknot is a huge band. Korn, was huge.
Alice in Chains.
They're great, but they got their lead singer is new guy. The original lead singer's gone, Lane Staley, of course.
Yeah, right.
But they're still rocking. And Breaking Benjamin is another one of those bands that a lot of people like. But Chevelle, Behemoth, Gorhia, and Undertow, but Volbeat and more. Volbeat is an amazing band. I love them. I would go to it just to see them. I can't believe that they're only like $90 in some places for all 5 days or all 5
That's not bad. That's not bad. And they start at $59, so you can get a single show ticket for $59 in some of these places, and that's damn good.
Yeah, that's real good. That's that shows these guys are not just out to make the money; they're out to to rock some people. Well, and these tickets are ridiculous, dude. Like $300. to go see like Paul McCartney. What the fuck? You know, dude, you're a
That's
billionaire. Stop it.
that's just dumb. I mean, after a while, just stop touring.
The
Just
Who's on tour, and their
Yeah,
tickets
they'll be in St. Louis, and
they're
they're
pretty
reasonable.
decent.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're reasonable. I can get I get a single ticket for the lawn for $69, but I can get a pair for 120.
that's a good deal.
That's a pretty good deal.
Yeah,
60 bucks a ticket. Well,
right.
plus they add on about 10, 15 bucks for
Sure, but
their fees.
that's what you paid to go to the Kiss convention for one day.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
And I'm gonna
so
get to see the Who.
right, but you're gonna get to see the Who with the Philharmonic by your home.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, that's how
The
they're
only
doing.
the only problem I have with it is the venue sucks. It's at
Yeah.
the Casino Amphitheater, Casino Queen Amphitheater, and I hate that venue.
Ours is actually in a good place. It's in where the Sabres play, which I was pretty shocked about because it's a summer concert, and usually they don't do the indoor shows. You know.
If I ever win the lottery, man, I'm going to build an amphitheater right out here where I live,
Yeah.
and make it right, and donate the money and say, here, build an amphitheater, build
And
a beautiful place for
you can
people
call it
to
the
enjoy.
Bloody Well Right Amphitheater.
The bloody well right, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what. I mean, this venue that they've got out here, there's only one way in and one way out.
Oh, that's bullshit.
That is, and it's all about controlling people.
Yeah,
That's
that's
all it's
bullshit.
all about, man. Is controlling you. They're only gonna let you in one way and only let you out one way. It's so
Right.
ridiculous.
It is.
It's just fucking crazy, man. And I hate it every time I go there. I despise it. So I'm considering taking my car out to St. Charles and finding a parking lot and parking,
Right.
and then calling Uber and have us take up to the front of the gate, drop us off, and then have Uber come back in and pick us up. That way, I'm not
There you
driving.
go, man. And then you could be a goober in the Uber.
Yeah, I can Uber and Uber, and I don't have to worry about it. I don't drink that much, so I don't have to worry about that. The thing is dealing with parking,
Right.
and it's $20 to park.
Right. Are you one of
Okay,
those guys that drive around the parking lot to find the open spot closest to the venue or to the building?
No, it's easier to park further away.
No, I
That
mean
way-
anywhere you go. Like if you go to the
Yeah.
supermarket,
No,
if you keep driving.
yeah, no, I don't do that either. I like to find a spot that's wide open where there's not a lot of cars. So I'll
Yeah.
walk. I'll walk. But at this venue, it's like, you come in and they got these guys with the red flags and shit. You pay them your $20 to go park, and then they tell you where you have to park.
Right.
They don't give you an option. There's no options, man.
Right.
No, you park here. Wait a minute. What are you talking about? Right here. Right here. Fuck you, asshole. I hate people like that. And then I sit in the car and I smoke a bowl and I fucking drink my beer, and then they come up to the car and tap on the back of your car. That pisses me off like there's no tomorrow, man.
What do they tap on the back of your car for?
Because they know what I'm doing in the car.
Shit, man.
You're not allowed to have beers. You can't tailgate. There's no tailgating.
What?
Yep.
What kind
Throw
of
your
shit
ass
is
out
that?
for tailgating. Yeah, it's ridiculous. I hate that venue, man. I'm telling you, everything about that venue I hate.
We got a amphitheater here. It's on like an amusement park, and it's that's what everybody does. Everybody goes hours before, and there's like frisbee and fucking can jam and beer pong, and
You would
people
think,
just
man.
oh, we get fucked. Shit. There's been times I've gone to this place and oh fuck it. I already seen this first band. Let's wait to the second band or wait to the third band, because you're having fun out in the parking lot.
Right.
No
right.
tailgating. That's crazy.
No tailgating, no partying out in the parking lot before or after the show.
Right.
So you're sitting in your car and you're waiting to get out of this melee, and it's just fucking headlights for miles.
Yeah.
And they got two cops standing at the intersection directing traffic. And there's
is
no
that like
traffic
that
on
for
the main
football
road.
games too?
Yeah, well, no, for football games, it's not so bad, but downtown sucks.
Yeah.
Downtown sucks anyway.
But are you allowed to tailgate for football games?
Yeah, you can.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can. And you can go to the Cardinal Nation, which is across from the stadium, from Busch Stadium, and it's this big hotel, and it's got a bunch of fucking. It's like a restaurant bar where you have all these different restaurants and bars and stuff, and dance clubs, and then they got this huge open area in the middle with this gigantic big screen where everybody watches the games and stuff.
Well, you don't have the football team. You're going to get a football team, you think?
Yeah, we're gonna get the XFL team. We're gonna get a team from.
Yeah, that's not a football team.
I know. But I did watch, and we're going to talk about this after the break. We're going to do a song here real quick.
Because I got to pee.
And I got to pee and get another bottle of water. But we're going to take a real quick break. But after that, we're going to talk about the Alliance of American Football. I watched the game the other night. So, and we can talk about that. So we'll be right back. I think you guys will recognize this one. This is pretty cool here. I think you'll like it. KGFRocks.com. Penis.
I wish I had one of those.
I wish I had a detachable penis. Mm-hmm. I'd like to. I could leave it at parties and stuff.
Mm-hmm. A detachable
penis. I wonder
penis.
though, would you feel it if somebody abused it while you were away from it?
I don't know. Maybe I would like that.
I don't know. One of those things.
Wait. Before I forget, I got to tell you something.
Okay.
Oh, never mind. I forgot.
Go ahead. Tell me.
No, I was going to burp, but it didn't come out.
Oh, it didn't come out that way. Well, anyways, I watched the American Alliance of American the Alliance of the American Football.
The fuck is that?
Well, it's this league now that they just got started with, and I watched let's see who was playing last night. Who was it? Atlanta against San Diego, I think.
Okay.
No, what was it? It was San Antonio against San Diego Fleet last night. And,
okay.
San Antonio beat them. And they got coaches like Mike Singletary is coaching in there, and all kinds of different coaches, man. It's pretty cool. And what they're doing is they're supplementing the NFL, which I think is pretty cool. Because a lot of the guys that didn't get that second chance, didn't get that, get that second look, are going to be able to play football.
Mm.
And I think it's pretty cool. I think it's pretty damn nice.
I don't know. I didn't watch one professional football game this year. Oh, wait a minute. No, I did watch a soccer game. But besides that, I didn't watch any because of my own personal reasons. But I know that this year's NFL numbers dropped dramatically. The fucking Super. Here's the State of the Union address had more viewers than the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So there you go. People claim they hate Trump, but it had more viewers than the Super Bowl,
right?
Or the un-Super Bowl. I told you. I predicted the outcome before it happened. I said, Tom Brady, if he doesn't retire this year, I think he's stupid. I think he should retire on a high note.
Yeah.
Look what happened to Brett Favre after he won his last Super Bowl. He just couldn't give it up.
He just couldn't give it up. And he's not going to give it up, but he's going to end up getting hurt. Or something crazy is going to happen, and he's going to end up getting out. He's going to end up quitting.
I really think that he needs to go because I think the league touts towards him because he's he's a 6th-round draft choice, and he's this guy that shouldn't have been. He's what he is, and now he's a champion. And shut the fuck up, get out of here.
Yeah, well, Kurt Warner was doing the commentary on these games on CBS, and from what I mean, it was pretty entertaining. And like I said, these guys are all getting second chances to play football, and there's some quarterbacks in there. Now today, Memphis lost like 29-0. They got shut out. So, and there's going to be more games like that, I'm sure. But even the referees are like in school, and they're going to be moving up to the NFL. So this is an extension of the NFL by far.
I see.
And I think what they tried to do was get in before the XFL because I think they were a year early. We lost a team to Alabama. They got a team in Alabama, and we were supposed to get that team, but we didn't get it.
You guys are going to get the L.A. Lambs back.
No, fuck the Rams. I didn't want them to come here in the first fucking place. Oh, that coffee is so delicious.
You love the Lambs.
I hate the Rams.
Stop it. They were the greatest show on turf.
But their ownership sucks, and
I don't care about
cowards.
their ownership. In
I think they're backstabbing.
That team was made up.
They'll never be happy where they are.
Even I don't give a shit about them.
I can't wait till 4 or 5 years from now, and they're begging people to buy tickets and shit because the team sucks so bad.
It's not going to happen in 4 or 5 years. It's already happening. They can't sell out there. It's L.A. L.A. doesn't sell out anymore.
No, they don't. They don't watch football there, and not to mention they're going to have competition with the San Diego team.
Right.
They're going to have the San Diego team. They're going to have the fucking L.A. team, and now they're going to have the Raiders in Las Vegas. Now, I think that was a good move.
It goes to show you that that NFL started as this league of sportsmen to now be a corporate entity, because they always said that they would never have anything to do with Las Vegas.
Yeah,
and I know it's just a corporation now. It's just a business. It's so lost its appeal to me. I mean, I used to couldn't wait for Sundays, bro. I couldn't wait for it. And in the 80s, when I was watching, the Bills go through all the win-in finally and going to the Super Bowls, it was so damn exciting.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel that way to me anymore. There's too much, in the media, them talking, being political, being this and that. No, people watch you to forget their problems and all that shit. They don't. I mean, to me, right now, and I think it's more scripted than it ever was. The players might not know it is, but I think they officiated, because that game in New Orleans. How can anybody make that call?
Not make that call, rather. Yeah. Yeah, he was looking right at it. Unless he was tripping on something, or he temporarily got temporary blindness or something.
Mm-hmm.
See, the thing about this AAF league, they've got what they call sky, something sky official, where the cameras, they watch for stuff, and it's an instant replay. It's right there on the fucking field, Guido. And and they overruled 3 calls in that game. 3 and 1 non-call. They got to
do something.
The referee
NFL
didn't even see. And I think the NFL this is their experiment with that. They don't have kickoffs. There's no kickoffs. Right. There are punts and there are field goals, but there's no extra point kicks. You have to go for 2 on every touchdown. And then you start at your own 25-yard line.
Mm-hmm.
Now the thing is, if you're down by 17 or more,
that's the way college used to be, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, I don't think college was that way. They had kickoffs a long time ago. They did, but if you want in the fourth quarter, and there's 5 minutes or less in the game, and you're down by 17, and you want to onside kick. Okay, what you have to do is you have to take the ball to your own 25, and it's a 1st and 12. If you get that 12 yards, then your kick is your onside kick is good, and you keep the ball. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, so, I think I think they did something like that in college 1 or 2 years. Something similar to that.
Yeah. Well, they're just trying to get rid of some of the injuries. Now, what I did notice is the quarterback was getting fucking hammered, dude.
Right.
He was getting his ass handed to him, and nobody called roughing the passer.
Well, that's good.
I was thinking I was going to see a shitload of penalties, but I didn't see hardly any penalties in that game. And it was fun. I mean, I sat here and I watched the entire game to the end. And it was a pretty decent game. San Diego has Mike Martz as their head coach. Let's see, who else is coaching in that league?
Well, it says that Bill Polian is one of the
one of the
owners.
owners of the
Yeah,
league. Yeah,
right.
so he's got NFL experience.
NFL
Um,
experience. He's the guy. Bill Polian is the single reason why the Bills went to 4 Super Bowls and the Colts went to 2.
right.
He got all those players for both of those teams.
Well, Mike Marks took the Rams to the Super Bowl here in St.
Yes,
Louis.
he did.
He took them to the Super Bowl, and the one guy he used to coach at North Carolina,
Mhm. Oh,
um,
um,
Spurrier,
Steve. Yeah, Spurrier. Yeah.
Steve Spurrier. He's coaching down in Florida.
Mhm.
He's coaching the team in Florida, and Mike Singletary is a coach
Mhm.
of one of the teams. There's several known NFL players who had bad luck this season and didn't make the team.
Right.
Hakeem, what's his name? Hakeem.
Elijah
He,
one. Oh.
no, Hakeem. What the hell was it? Hunt?
Uh,
Hakeem Hunt. He played for the Chiefs, but he got kicked off the squad because
mhm.
he was accused of beating his wife.
Yeah.
He played last night.
So is Ray Rice playing?
Ray Wright. You know what? I think he is. I think
So
he
there's
is.
there's the Arizona Hot Shots, the Atlanta Legend, the Birmingham Iron. Wow, these
Hmm.
are great names. The Memphis Express, the Orlando Apollos, the
Yeah,
Salt Lake Stallions, the San Antonio Commanders, and the San Diego Fleet.
yeah.
All right, come on now. Those names are not that good.
They're not that bad though. The Commanders was cool because at the beginning of the game, when the Commanders came out on the field, the San Antonio Commanders came out. They had this fucking general riding up on this fucking horse in a Union uniform and shit, with the American flag, waving the American flag and shit. It was pretty
Right.
cool, dude. It was entertaining as hell. And then when they scored a touchdown, they had these guys stand out the side with muskets going bum 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 and a big cannon and shit. I mean,
That's cool.
it was pretty cool, man. I mean, and you know what, Guido?
What's
For the first games, there was a good crowd. There was over
well,
30,000 fans at that game.
well, yeah, it's got to be 'cause, the NFL. Yeah, I'm looking at it now. The NFL is involved with it.
Yeah, they are.
Some of the games are played right on the NFL Network. So
Yeah, they're playing on CBS and CBS SN, and then the NFL Network.
yeah, well, that might be something different. I might have to check that out.
It was really
It's
fun to watch. It really was. I was surprised. I thought, oh well, here we go, a bunch of fucking amateurs, you know.
well,
But
all right.
but it wasn't. Some of these guys actually have a chance to get back into the NFL, and
You
that's what
think
they're
so?
trying to do. Sure.
Well, that's it makes sense. Every other professional sport has a farm league.
And that's right, where they can farm players from,
Sure,
and
basketball
that
has the
way,
B leagues, and
and they were saying this is for the benefit of the players because now they'll have time to actually learn the
what do you
game.
think they should? Do you think they should? Like a lot of people do, have your rookies play in this league in the first year instead of playing in
Uh huh.
NFL game.
Yeah,
I
I
think that's
agree.
what they should do. Really.
I think so too, and I think they should be able to develop the player. Say,
Right.
no, you know what? We're going to keep you down here for another season, dude. Because you're not quite there yet. And you know what? Knowledge and knowing the game in the
Mm,
NFL will prevent injuries
right.
because a
Well,
lot
no,
of these
it's true,
players,
and I
man,
think that's what they're looking for is
yeah,
to end a lot of this concussions and there is there's a lot of lawsuits going on in the NFL with players from the past suing them for
yeah,
concussion protocols in the past. So it's a thing, but I don't understand. People know the risk, I think, and I'm not saying that people should be hurt purposely or
right, right,
there should be protection for them, definitely, but
right.
it's been like that. I mean, when they first started playing football, they used a piece of leather as a helmet.
Oh yeah, the people were dying left and right back then. I mean, they were just
But, that's
the
why
same with hockey. The same with hockey. They never wore helmets.
those are real men right there.
How many countless players in baseball got their fucking head knocked off,
Right.
and it literally got killed with a cerebral hemorrhage or blinded because they were knocked in the noggin with a fucking fastball.
Right.
So I mean, all sports has come a long way, but if you can prevent injuries because the player is actually better educated on how to play the game and how to protect himself on the field,
Right.
Like, a lot of these players come out of college and they go in on the field. Next thing you know, they've got a torn ACL or they've got a neck
Well,
injury.
here's the difference. Okay, and this is what a lot of them don't understand too. All right, I am the best running back on Ohio State. I'm the best running back in this conference. Then they go to the NFL. You're playing against all the best defensive players that were on all those best college teams. You might be the best player on your team, but that doesn't mean everybody on a college team is NFL caliber. Not everybody goes to the
No,
NFL.
not everybody makes it
Right,
to the NFL. That's one.
right,
Yeah.
right. And then there's no like you said, they're amongst men now that have millions of dollars and they don't know how to spend that money. They spend their money foolishly. They do this and that. And I think it would do them good to have a developmental league. Everybody does now.
Yeah.
Every other professional sport has a developmental league.
And
Very rarely do they
the
come up
go ahead.
early. Do
Yeah.
they come up as a rookie anymore?
I think to say the salary cap is $750,000. That's as high as you can make in this league.
Well, that's a good thing because now you're playing for only one fixed amount. All are playing together for one fixed amount.
Right.
But your goal is to get the big paycheck in the big league. So you're going to play for that game to get that check later on. It's going to be more competitive. I'm telling you, it's going to be more exciting.
Right, and all the contracts have player incentive. So,
Right.
and they say if you go up to the NFL, you can renegotiate your contract with the the NFL team that signs you.
Well, of
So
course.
there's no contract bars. So in other words, they can compete with that league, and they can say what, fuck you, man. The Cowboys are going to pay me X amount of dollars.
Well, yeah, well, that would be a NFL team's greatest. Wow, this kid over in the B League here is so awesome. Well, we could take him for $750,000. That wouldn't be fair as fuck. That would be.
Yeah.
That would suck ass. I mean,
Yeah. Think about that. This kid in the new league, he ran for 1,000 yards in an 8-game season, or 10-game season. He's averaging 100 yards a game. We need to fucking talk to him.
But then again, what you got to understand again about this league now is everybody that plays in the NFL is pretty damn good. This league, if you're good, it still doesn't mean you're NFL caliber. It just means you're good.
You're good. Yeah, you're good.
Against these guys that didn't make it to the NFL.
Maybe there's a good reason why you didn't make it in the NFL.
Right.
Maybe there's a reason why you only played 2 seasons and you sat on the bench for 2 seasons. And
some of them may have never even been drafted or looked at all, because if you look through like their colleges, they're from college. Some of them are from stuff that you don't really hear of, like Eastern Michigan and Garden City Community College. I mean, these are a lot of small college kids too. So maybe the pros didn't get to look at them. So maybe in actuality they are decent players.
And maybe they're just now being looked at. They just got overlooked. And that's what this is all about, and I think it's a great idea. And the referees are also in education; they're learning how to be referees. And with that new Sky Pilot thing that they've got going on, you can't make the mistakes that you make in the NFL. And
then they should bring all the NFL fucking coach or refs and put them in this new league to let them learn, because the shit horrible.
They're bad. They're very, very bad. They are bad. I've seen some bad ones, man, but golly. So, yeah, it's interesting. I look forward to seeing a little bit more of it. Of course, I do like the Canadian Football League. Yeah, I watch in the summertime. They usually play in the late summer, early fall. My team is Saskatchewan. They've won the title, the Grey Cup, 4 or 5 times.
We get that here because I'm so close to Canada. I've never really watched one game.
You got the Alouettes.
Yeah,
the Ottawa Alouettes.
I'm actually closest, it would be to the Hamilton Tiger Cats if they're still around.
Okay, Hamilton Tiger Cats. Yeah, they're still around.
Yeah, that's would be the team that would be closest to me.
Yeah, their field is 60 yards wide or something. 80, something like that, 60 yards wide. And
Doug Flutie was a huge CFL star.
Yeah, Doug Flutie was, and so was
Warren Moon.
Yeah, Warren Moon, and a couple other players played in the Canadian Football League.
Johnny, what's
Kurt Warner. Kurt Warner
Kurt,
played in the
Kurt Warner?
CFL, and he
Kurt Warner
also
played
played.
everywhere.
Yeah, he played in the Arena Football League, and he
What
said it
team
was.
was he on when he got picked up?
He was playing for was it Salt Lake City or was
Uh,
it St. Louis?
now
I
he's
think it
playing
was,
for the Iowa Barnstormers.
yeah, the Iowa Barnstormers. That's right.
And when he got the phone call to come to St. Louis, he was on his shift stocking shelves at the Piggly Wiggly.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
We want you to play for the Rams.
But
What?
here is Warner. Okay, he was number 3, dude.
Yeah.
Okay, he was the third quarterback. It was Trent Green, and then I forgot. Was it still?
Oh, what the fuck was his name?
Was it Tony Banks still there?
Tony Banks. Yes, it was.
Okay. So then
Yes,
he
it
was
was.
number 3. Trent Green gets hurt in preseason, and then Tony Banks gets hurt in the first game of the season, and then this guy was bagging groceries at the Piggly Wiggly just 6 months earlier brings him to the fucking Super Bowl. I mean, a third string
Talk about a
quarterback.
bonus. Talk about
Right.
a bonus.
You
I
know,
mean, you got to imagine that it's that bonus that he got that year, and then the contract the following year. They said, "That's it. You're our starter," and he was from
it
then on.
wasn't like he got lucky. He had talent. He had pure talent.
Yeah,
He really had a great arm, and he was a good mind. His mind, and he wasn't a selfish player. That's what helped him the most.
yeah, that's
He,
true.
he just wanted to win. It didn't matter if Marshall Falk ran it in or he threw it in. You know,
Yeah, it didn't
I mean,
matter.
it was no. He just wanted to win. I mean, face it. If you, like I said, if you were bagging groceries at the Piggly Wiggly a couple months earlier, and now you're on your way to the Super Bowl, you're going to play your damn ass off, man.
Damn
'Cause
right
now
you are. Yeah.
your contract renegotiations coming up for the next year, you know. And then he went from league minimum to like $5 million a year.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous, you know.
Yeah.
But you know who else has a success story like that? Brett Favre, man.
Brett Favre did too. Yeah, he did.
Brett Favre was the third string quarterback on Atlanta behind shit, I can't remember now. Oh, it was that guy from the first quarterback from the Jaguars, Mark Brunell.
Mark Brunell. Yep.
It was behind Mark Brunell, and then the one that took him to the Super Bowl, Jeff or whoever that he was the starter quarterback, and Mike Holmgren said, he's a friggin' loose cannon. I think we can, whip him into shape. And you know who really whipped him into shape was Steve Mariucci. Steve Mariucci was his quarterback coach.
Right.
And he got him because Brett Favre was just that gunslinging, just want to throw all over the place. They had to tone him down,
Right.
And he was the backup on Green Bay because Don Majkowski was the starter. Remember Don Majkowski?
Don Majkowski, yeah, and he didn't last a day. He got his ass handed to him in the third game of the season. He was done. He was done. And he never came back.
And then Brett Favre stepped on that field, and history was
History was made.
Still, my favorite quarterback. Well, my favorite quarterback is it's hard to say because I put them both on the same pedestal, Dan Marino and Jim Kelly. Because I'm from Buffalo, and those two guys played. I saw them play 2 times a year and just totally fucking outplay each other every game. They were so competitive against each other. It was hard not to like both of them.
Right.
And so I respected Dan Marino because he was best friends with Jim Kelly. It was kind of funny because they were all friends, but they were so competitive against each other. And then I would have to say it would be Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers. Those are like my favorite. And Ben Roethlisberger. I like those big, like just tough quarterbacks. The ones that could take the hit or block somebody when they're done.
Yeah, they can actually get out there. Sonny Jurgensen used to do that when he played for the Redskins. He used to be able to get out, and he only had that one bar across his mask, and he would go out there and he'd make a block, and he was huge. The man was fat. I mean, the quarterbacks back then were in no way in the physical condition of who they are today, besides maybe Joe Namath.
Well, if you look at the
Starr.
old shit. They're smoking on the sidelines.
Yeah,
in the 50s.
Yeah, In the
You know, I mean,
60s, yeah, in the 60s, they're on the sideline smoking
right. I
cigarettes.
mean, football really didn't get to the competitive state until the NFL. See, the NFL was never had the competition until that AFL came around, and the AFL was like this pesky league, you know.
Right, right.
And so that when they decided to do the AFL versus NFL, those first two Super Bowls were two different leagues. People don't realize that those first two Super Bowls were two different leagues. It was the best team from the NFL playing the best team from the AFL.
AFL,
Okay,
yeah, yeah.
it wasn't until that third Super Bowl when Joe Namath guaranteed the win against Indianapolis or Baltimore, rather. I'm sorry.
Baltimore, right.
That was the first combined year. So the first year the NFL was combined was like 1970.
Yeah, everybody thinks the Colts were an AFC team.
No.
They were an NFC team,
Yep. They were.
and the Houston team is now an NFC team, and
Mhm.
it used to be they were the Houston Oilers
Right.
who moved to Tennessee.
Right. Well, even you got Miami over in the AFC, but they were not. They were original NFL team, I think, right?
Right.
Because the Bills, the Patriots, the Chargers, those were all NFC or AFC teams.
AFL teams, yeah.
Or
And
AFL
so,
teams, right?
and Kansas City had the Colt 45s.
Right, right.
Kansas City
But
was
see, that was such a great time. Like we had here in Buffalo, you know, we won the two back-to-back AFL champions. Everybody said, "Oh, Bills never won a championship." Well, we did. We won two back-to-back AFL champions, and we were actually one game away from being in the first Super Bowl.
Super Bowl, yeah.
It would ended up being Kansas City.
Yeah, they lost to Kansas City.
Right. So, I
Yeah.
mean, the Bills were then they became like the shit team of the '70s. Then they got O.J. Simpson, and they were still shitty, but they were styling shitty.
Yeah, they were a stylish city.
Yeah. And then until they decided to spend the money in the '80s, and then they got all those. Bill Polian came in and got, you know, he got Bruce Smith, he got Thurman Thomas, he got Andre Reed, he got Jim Kelly, he got all these fucking guys that are Hall of Famers, and we went to 4 Super Bowls. But in my opinion, because Buffalo's not a big market, we didn't win the Super Bowl.
No. It would have been nice to see Jim Kelly win one.
Oh man, it would have been so good because you know what, we were downtrodden in this city because it was just a poor town. Buffalo was a poor town, especially in the '80s. And then those late '80s when they were winning, it felt like we were winning.
Yeah, the city was winning.
Right. You know, so it got a lot of pride in the city, which was nice. You know, but
Yeah, it's nice to have that.
then we went like 17 years without going to the playoffs or something. I'm like,
Right.
what
It
the
was the
fuck?
same thing in St. Louis.
Yeah.
I mean, the Rams brought a lot of pride to St. Louis, and the stadium was just it's in such disarray, and it was just shitty. You know what I'm saying? It was just shitty, and the city really, you know, changed when the Rams came to town. Everybody was excited. People were spending money. Downtown, the refurbishing of downtown happened only because the Rams were here.
Yeah.
And now it's reverting back, and now it's the Cardinals, and it's the Blues, and that's all we got. We got two professional teams.
A lot of people don't realize that the Cardinals of football were St. Louis.
Yeah. Well, they were, and I got to go. I went to the very last home game they ever played against the Philadelphia Eagles.
Oh, did you? Yeah.
And yeah, they got their asses handed to them.
It was 1937, right?
No, it was actually 19. When did they move to Phoenix?
No, that was 70s they moved to Phoenix. Or no, 80s.
It was in the 80s.
Yeah.
It was, I think it was like 84, 85.
Yeah.
They moved to Phoenix, and when they left, Bidwell took them out of town on a dark bus, man.
Yeah. That's how Baltimore moved to Indianapolis, too. It was like the middle of the night.
Yeah, he was up there in the booth waving at everybody at the last game, and Bill Bidwell wants to thank all the diehard fans and blah 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 blah. And I'm sitting there going, "Fuck you!" Everybody's booing, and we had like 2,300 people in the stands. It was disgusting.
And I couldn't understand how that could happen because the Cardinals were always associated with St. Louis, no matter what.
They never won a championship.
Right.
And Bidwell got tired of sharing a stadium with the Cardinals because they would have to share the stadium. and they wouldn't build a new. It's all about a new stadium. It's all about building a new stadium.
Right.
The dome they built. I don't even know why they built the dome. There was no prospect for an NFL team to come back to St. Louis. They built it on the hopes that they would get an NFL franchise to come into town. And suddenly, 10 years later, the Rams decide, well, we've got a facility here in St. Louis. They won't convert the Coliseum. They won't build us a new stadium here. So let's go to St. Louis. Well, they used and abused the stadium here in St. Louis. And after Georgia Frontier died, Stan Kroenke took over everything, all operations, and said, we're moving the team. And he didn't hold no fucking. there was no secret. He made sure everybody knew I'm moving this team, and
Right.
you knew it right after she died. I knew it right then, but
Well,
I never was a fan.
no, well, see, again, the Rams were St. Louis before they were Los Angeles the first time, right?
Right, exactly.
Right. So they were what, the Rams in the 70s, or what were they?
They were the Rams in the 70s. No,
Right.
they were the Rams in the 50s.
In the 50s, okay.
In the 50s. Then they moved to L.A.
Right.
They were in L.A. in the 60s. They moved to L.A. because of the weather. And
Okay.
then the Cardinals actually were playing up in Chicago. And
Okay.
they moved down here because they were competing with the Bears.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Chicago Cardinals. Okay.
Yeah, Chicago Cardinals. And they moved down to St. Louis because they had to compete with the Chicago Bears. And the Bears
Right.
at that time were monsters. They were just a great team.
Right.
And they just couldn't compete with them. They never did come here to compete. They were always the spoiler.
Right.
They'd have a game against the Vikings, right?
Yeah.
In Minnesota, and the Vikings were up for the playoffs. They would beat the Vikings.
Well, they had
But they were
what-
9 and they were like 9-7 all the time.
But I always said they were like the training center for future greats because they got the first or second or third pick every fucking year.
Every year, just about, yeah.
Right.
Every year.
It-
And they had guys like Jim Hart,
Mm-hmm.
and Deacon Jones played for him for a little while and then went to the Rams.
Right.
A couple other great players played for the St. Louis Cardinals, and they were a decent team, but they were
What
a
about
spoiler
basketball? How comes basketball has never really been a St. Louis sport?
team. Basketball, okay, I'll be gentle. Because the folks who follow basketball
Mm-hmm.
are broke.
Okay.
Okay?
Well, I mean that's true too. But there's a lot of people that follow basketball now. Basketball is a hip thing now. I mean, I'm just surprised the town of St. Louis doesn't have a basketball team. I'm just as surprised as my city of Buffalo doesn't have one anymore.
Well, we have a hard enough time supporting basketball, and supporting hockey and
Right.
baseball. Okay, we support the baseball 100%. Baseball is just who we are.
Right.
This is Cardinal Nation. They'll never leave St. Louis. There was a time when we thought we might lose them.
Right.
Don't get me wrong. When Anheuser-Busch dropped them, when Bush dropped them and walked away from the stadium, they still call it Busch Stadium.
Mm-hmm.
But Anheuser-Busch had a part ownership in the Cardinals, in the St. Louis Cardinals. And when they dropped out, there was some talk. There was
Right.
definitely some talk.
Well, it's not that they dropped out; it was that they sold. And
Yeah, they sold. Well, they sold out. They sold
Right.
out their part of the contract. They still call the stadium Busch Stadium,
Right.
which is kind of puzzling to me. But it's tradition, so I let them live with it. They could call
Well,
it
just like
something.
Busch Gardens is still Busch Gardens, and Anheuser-Busch doesn't own that anymore either.
No, not anymore. No.
That's owned by SeaWorld, believe it or not. And, that was smart for Anheuser-Busch to do those things back when they did them,
Yeah.
to diversify themselves into other
Oh, it's worth millions
businesses. Yeah,
to them. You couldn't get a Coors in this town to save your ass,
Right.
or a Labatt's, or any of those other beers.
Well, here, that's the number one beer is Labatt.
If at that time, now we have nothing but fucking microbreweries all over town.
Well, did you see the thing online where they said Budweiser may eliminate Budweiser?
Yeah, they might do that, and they're gonna just
Have Bud Light.
have Bud Light, but I don't think that's going to happen. Because look, let's face it, it's a much better tasting beer than Bud Light is. I think.
Well, it's not selling as like Bud Light, and Budweiser
Well,
was
that's because they don't advertise for it.
it
Like
was
they do
that
Bud Light.
American beer, dude. It was like you watch all old '60s and '70s movies. They got Budweisers in their hand, you know.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
now, like here in Buffalo, New York, the biggest beer is Labatt, and now Labatt, which was the number 2 beer in Canada, was bought by a company here. So Labatt's actually in Buffalo, New York, you know, and because we are the biggest buyer of it. But now that's nationwide too. I think you can get that where you are too, right?
Yeah,
Labatt.
you can get Labatt now. Well, like I said, back in the day, you couldn't get anything else but Budweiser products.
Right.
Michelob was big. You could get Falstaff here only because it was made here.
Right.
Falstaff was made here for the longest time. And what is it? Stag beer.
Stag. Yeah. What about
made over in
was
Illinois?
Pabst made there? No, that was Michigan, right?
Pabst was made up in Wisconsin.
Or
Up
Wisconsin.
in Green Bay, yes.
Right.
Pabst Blue Ribbon, yes. Pabst.
I still think that.
Yeah. Oh, Pabst? Yeah, Pabst is not bad. Pabst is not, especially if it's really cold.
Right. It's really, and it's cheap. Dude, you get a six pack for like $4.
Yeah, you can get a 6-pack pretty cheap, you know.
Yeah.
And Bud Light is expensive as far as I'm concerned. And, of course, you still get Busch beer. And
Well, my
Busch beer is
drink of choice or my beer of choice is Miller Lite.
Miller Light?
Light.
I can't stand Miller Lite. It's like drinking piss.
Oh man, it's my favorite beer. You're
No,
crazy.
it doesn't even quench my. It doesn't.
No, Coors Light's like drinking piss. It's like just drinking.
Well, Coors Light's another one I can't handle. I mean, it just I don't like the taste of it. I'll drink some Pabst Blue Ribbon if it's available. I like Busch. Busch is good. And
Would
then
you drink Pabst Smear Blue Ribbon?
Pabst Smear. I don't know. It depends on who she is. You know?
Okay. Hey, let me tickle your berries. You know.
Yeah, one of them things. Yeah, that's the way beer works around here. But like I said, there's a lot of microbreweries.
That's everywhere.
And Anheuser-Busch is slipping. Of
Well,
course,
you know
they
what
got
it is?
bought out by the French.
Sure, and the millennials, the hipsters or whatever you want to call them, they're like these old fashioned, these micro brews and all this. Just fucking drink a beer, dude. Don't put.
Yeah.
Why do you got to have pomegranate in your goddamn beer?
Yeah, or
Beer's
orange.
Beer's
Or
not supposed
oranges,
to taste
yeah.
good. It's supposed to taste like beer.
It's supposed to taste like shit. Do you think that
Right.
you know where beer got its popularity from, don't you?
Germany.
Well, not only that, but also on the ships that came over the Nina and the Pinta and the Santa Maria. They drank beer and rum, and they drank beer for their daily drinking water because the water would go bad on the ship, and the beer stayed good because it had alcohol in it. So it would still be good, and it wouldn't go bad.
Right.
Probably tasted like shit, but hey,
Probably.
listen, if you're thirsty, for crying out loud, drink up.
Drink it up.
Drink
Well,
it up.
Yeah. You know, in heaven there is no beer. That's why we drink it here.
In heaven, there is no beer.
Why we
Yeah.
drink it here.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, but I've always liked, domestic beers, American beers. I never really like Canadian beers. I think it's just too bitter, too whatever, strong tasted. But I do like Budweiser. I don't like Bud Light. That's weird, but I don't like Miller. But I like Miller Light.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just I don't know if I went to a party and there was Bud and Bud Light, I'd probably drink the Bud, but if it was Miller Light, I would definitely drink the Miller Light. I also used to be into the Michelob Light for a long time, but the beer that I used to drink the most when I was younger was, I think it was made by Miller too, was Red Dog.
Oh, Red Dog? Yeah.
Yeah. 'Cause you got the 40 ounces of that shit for like $2 and, walk around with a brown paper bag down the street. Yo, buddy, what's up? And then you had your bottle of Cisco in the other hand,
Yeah. Well, when I was down in Arizona, I drank a lot of Mexican beer. And my favorite beer down there was Pacifico.
I like that Tecate or whatever that shit is.
Tecate's okay.
Yeah,
Tecate's
I like
okay,
that.
but try next time you go to a Mexican restaurant, ask for some Pacifico beer.
Yeah, there was another one I had when I was in Texas. I can't remember.
Yeah, Pacifico, and then there's Dos Equis.
Oh, Dos Equis is fucking amazing.
Yeah, I like Dos Equis beer.
There's another one too that I used to drink a lot. Soul or something like that.
Yeah,
SOL.
Soul
Yeah,
is
yeah.
good beer.
Yeah.
The Soul Dark is really good. I like that. All the Mexican beers are good beer.
Yeah, I do like Mexican beer. Mexican beer I like better than Canadian beer.
Yeah.
But I do like one Canadian beer. Like Molson Canadian, I think tastes like it was made in like a cauldron or something. It's just horrible. But I do like this beer called Moosehead.
Moosehead's good.
Yeah,
I've had that before.
Good. That's Canadian, and I really like that. But see, I'm a simple guy when it comes to beer. I don't really like beer. If I go out, my drink of choice is Captain Morgan.
You drink a Captain Morgan.
I'm
not a hard boozer, man. I'm not even a beer man, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
I don't drink a lot, but
I don't either.
I like my Jack Daniels on the rocks.
I had to stop drinking that because when I was a bar manager for many, many years, and I would drink a bottle and a half of that every other night. I'm like, oh my God, my liver is going to be dead.
Yeah, you might as well quit drinking that shit.
I was drinking it like right on the rocks, and I started using soda because let it not have so much of it. And then I said, I'm getting fat because I'm drinking all the soda, so I started drinking Jack and water, and I'm like, oh my God. So that's when I switched to the spiced rum, but what the hell's the difference? It's just as much. The spiced rum's probably worse.
Yeah, that's my thinking. You just like it sweet, don't you?
I do like it sweet because I like. Well, yes and no, because like I can't stand Southern Comfort because it's too sweet.
Yeah. Oh no, I don't like Southern Comfort either.
Yeah.
And then Jim Beam Apple. Ugh.
Oh yeah. Well, now everybody's on this fire kick or the cinnamon kick, like Fireball and Jack Fire and all that. I don't want the shit to burn my mouth. I just want to fucking drink and get a buzz.
Yeah, basically. I mean, I've got stuff in my freezer. I've got some of that Fireball in my freezer I've had for 2 years up there because I don't drink it.
I don't like it. If for shots, I like. You ever hear of Black House?
Black House? No. Can't say that I remember that.
That's like a shit, I can't even explain it, but it's good. It's like a from Germany or something, and it's really good. And there's Zambuca too. That's good.
Zambuca's good. I've had that before.
Yeah. Have you ever had a rusty trombone?
No. What's a rusty trombone?
You've had a rusty trombone.
No, I haven't. It depends on what you're talking about.
You've had one.
No, I haven't.
That's when you stick it in their booty and then you stick it in their mouth.
I knew you were going to say that. You mean ATM?
Yeah, that's the rusty trombone.
Oh, okay, that's a rusty trombone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well.
And then there's the rusty fish hook. Just use the finger.
Yeah, just use the finger.
And you go. How about the Cleveland Steamer?
Now we're going to talk about sexual epitaph.
No, I don't really want to talk about that shit.
No, neither do I. So, anyway.
I want a Pop-Tart.
You want a Pop-Tart?
Yeah.
All right, well, why don't we take a quick break here?
Whatever you want, brother.
Okay, we're going to do a break here. I'm going to play a song that we haven't played on this show in quite a while. This is going to be Desert Dragon and Darkness Shines. You're listening to KGFRocks.com and The Conjugal Visit.
Can't you
Yeah, Darkness Shines, and that's Desert Dragon. Haven't played that song in a while, have I?
Hell no.
Hell to the no. That's been a long time ago. Let's see. How long ago was that, man?
Like a coon's age,
Yeah, it's been a couple of years since I played that on the show. So I hope you all enjoyed that as much as I did. Yeah,
I did. I was going like a fire dragon during the whole song.
Well, next week, man,
See?
we have a special guest. His name is Steve Balaco.
Is it Balaco or is it Balacho?
It may be Bellaccio. Yeah, you're right. They may be Bellaccio. And they are a band called Bad Bones.
Yeah.
Out of Italy. And
I have a
in Europe.
bad bone.
I got a bad bone, too.
I usually tell my wife, I hate every bone in your body but mine.
Yeah. I only got one bone that matters.
Yeah.
Yeah. As long as it keeps working, I'll be fine.
Yes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got to take care of one bone at a time.
Yeah. Ham bone. But the Wiener Schnitzel?
Das Wiener Schnitzel. Yeah, that's why I played detachable penis. I had penis on the brain.
Eat pineapple.
Next week we'll be doing that show, and we got some great music coming your way next week. Don't forget to listen to all of our DJs at kgfrocks.com because they all kick ass. And we got Zookeeper Bob, we got Wild Bill Hill and Diamond, and then of course it's the Conjugal Visit show. And then every once in a while, the Guido will come in and talk on the mic in the middle of music during the course of the day.
I just fucking butt right in there.
Yeah, he just butts in and says some crazy off the wall shit, and then it's right back to the music again.
And it's like gone. After I say it, it's like bing, it's gone. It never existed.
It never existed. I think that's pretty cool to what you did, though.
Well, you could do it too. You have the access to.
Yeah, I could go in and do it too, but
you could actually do a whole show through it if you wanted to. And I'm thinking that I may do a show like that because I'm having so much trouble with the memory on my computer that it won't run my music player.
Okay.
So maybe I should try a show like that, see if I can do it, because you can build playlists to where you do it, and you set your whole playlist up. And then you drop your voice tracks in between it, because you could do it right while the show is playing,
Right.
So I don't know. Maybe I'll do a show like that one day. But I miss doing it. I do. It's just that the memory on my machine is so bad, and I don't want to do a poor quality show,
Right. I understand. No, I understand completely. So you don't have a lot of music access right now.
No, but if I went through the station program, I could use all the music that's already in our library.
Oh, yeah. Well, that makes life easy, don't it?
Right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, pick a day. Any day.
Yeah. Maybe I'll just randomly come in. It's the Crazy Nut Hour with the left nut. The right nut stayed home.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds like fun. You could do that way.
The Arizona ball washers.
But anyway, you all can tune into all of our DJs. We're here 7 days a week, though, playing the best rock on the net, commercial-free rock and roll. And, we've been doing this now. We're going on our 6th year. Next year will be our 6th anniversary at kgfrocks.com, I think. Isn't it? Like 2012?
Something like that.
2012?
Yeah.
Yeah, 6 years. Wow. Whew. Man, oh man. We've been doing the Conjugal Visit show since 2014.
Yeah, we've been doing it since a while, and I could give you if you want the exact date, I can get that for real. I know it was in March sometime that we started. I don't remember the exact date, but it's then we started rocking, and we just keep getting better. And looking at numbers, people are definitely coming in, and we appreciate that. We love everybody that comes in. Even if you stop for 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes, we appreciate it. And just get the word out there. We only become stronger with your help. You drop some songs you like if you don't hear it. Hey, we like this. This is our favorite band from our area.
Yeah.
We'll do that. I mean,
Yeah. Go ahead and bring us all the stuff. Bring us everything. I mean, give us suggestions on what we could do better, what we can tone down, whatever it is. Let us know. We're not scared.
No.
We're not scared. So if you're
we
listening,
don't take anything personally.
No, we don't.
Unless you talk about Kiss, then fuck you. But besides that,
well, if you're not listening to KGFRocks.com, you suck.
Yeah. I don't know what you suck, but you do.
Yeah, and we really don't care what you suck.
It might be corn cobs for all I care, but
right?
you ever eat corn on the cob and then you're like, God damn it, I wish I had a placker. Yeah.
No, personally, I've never done that. No.
Oh, because you could take your teeth out, right?
Yeah, kind of, sort of. Well, we don't get into that kind of conversation. I think we've beaten this one to death. What do you think, the Guido?
Hey,
I
whatever
can't
you
even
say.
use that in a decent sentence, man.
Yeah, you can. You know who's sexy? The Guido.
The Guido.
Yeah. There, I use that in a good sentence.
Yeah. All right. Well, we've beaten this one to death. We're out of here. Thanks for tuning in. Tune in next week. Next week's going to be pretty kick-ass. All right? The guy barely speaks English, and he's going to communicate well with Guido. So don't miss it. It's going to be a lot of fun. Check us out on our Facebook page at kgfrocks.com. Get all the events and upcoming shows, and tell a friend about us here at kgfrocks.com because it really goes a long way. Guido, you got anything else for us?
Yeah, I only know freaking fake Italian because we make our shit up in America,
Oh, we make our shit up. Well, start making shit up now. Got a week.
All right.
All right. This is KGFRocks.com. Good night, everybody.
Ciao.
It's Sunday night, and this is the Conjugal Visit on KGFRocks.com.